Hello, captains. Welcome back to my channel. I am your host, USS Endeavor. We're here at Tier 8, the Petropavlovsk. This is a crazy good ship. We're going to go over all those stats, but before we do that, I just had a really quick clip I wanted to show you of how good the AP is in action against a legendary ship. Check it out. Along with the rear firing angles of this beast and the 360-degree turrets that can turn all the way around like the Exorcist's head, this is just a phenomenal ship. And I think, besides the Stalingrad, one of, if not the best ship of the line. But we haven't gone over the Stalingrad yet, but a lot of people will tell you that this is, pound for pound, one of the best Tier 8 cruisers that you can get for free in the game. And that's where it stands right now. So let's look at everything, and we'll go over a lot. On PC, this sucker, I believe, is a Tier 10 that they've made a Tier 8 in Legends, and they've given it the Legends treatment. So it does have reduced stats than the Petro on PC, but it's still a very, very nice ship. So let's check it out, shall we? So we decided to keep Lightful as our commander. Everything here is the exact same when we played the Riga. So there isn't much, well, actually there isn't anything new to really talk about. The base perk is great for your reload and reducing your detection after you've shot that main battery, as long as you're not within range of anything that can spot you visually. All the other stats are pretty much the same as Kuznetsov, who we actually have as an inspiration. This being your special perk, Fear My Roar, which helps with your overall accuracy with both grouping and dispersion, but at the cost of your detectability. But when I say that it's still okay to be spotted in this thing, even from range, I really mean it. Because you can do a little bit of a trick to angle and still get all your guns to bear and do just fine. Mod selections. We've got Main Battery Mod 2, which is going to help with our overall traverse of our turrets. Propulsion mod in the second. Third, we're doing Concealment Systems mod. And then the last one, we decided to go purple, using 500 of our steel to upgrade the Main Battery Mod 3 to help with our reload over the course of the battle as we deal 30,000 damage per stack, which goes up to 5 times. On to the consumables. You've got your sonar, which, because of fully packed, we've got 3 of them, along with our radar, which still detects ships up to 11.7 at 21 seconds. Again, 3 charges. And the same with our repair party, 3 charges. On to the actual stats themselves. Your survivability, oddly enough, I think this is where it got the Legends treatment. It's only 45,500, which on paper looks incredibly small. But because of the armor scheme on this thing, its survivability can be a lot longer, which you will see in this game. We tank a lot of damage. So keep that in mind. Your armor is kind of built into that stat. Your artillery, the same 220 millimeter guns that you got on the Riga. But for some reason, this thing, it's different. It feels better. The shells, just overall, they feel like they cooperate just a little bit better than the Riga. Now, I don't know if with the buff with the Riga, it's now on par with Petro, but in my opinion, Petropavlovsk's main guns are, well, it's really the only thing you got, but they're phenomenal. AA defense is actually really darn good. 5.7 kilometer base range and for the first section, and then 4 kilometers to get the rest of it. This is a pretty good AA defense ship. Your maneuverability, well, it's trash, if I'm being quite honest. It's a battleship when it comes to its maneuverability, with the speed being on the higher end of that. But all of these stats are technically worse than the Riga you have compared to the Petro. They're all worse. The concealment is also not the greatest, but again, I'm not too worried about being spotted in this ship. As long as you can position yourself correctly, utilize island cover when you have it, and when you don't, angle your ship in a position to where you reduce the amount of damage that comes into you. Let's look at the armor, and I know that huge green section is huge, like Trump would say, but it can be overmatched by anything that's 15-inch shells and above, and you are going to you're going to go against a lot of those ships, to be quite honest. As we strip away the bow, you can see that blue section that is right underneath the turrets. Technically, if you get the right shot, you could citadel this thing right through the bow, which is why you don't want to say perfectly bow in to a battleship that can overmatch you. Instead, you want to be tightly angled. But again, the turrets and the firing angles on this ship are phenomenal. We're going to go over that. We're going to take a look at it. Looking at the citadel, it does sit slightly above the water, extending from the front to the back turret. Here's another section of that. But if you can stay steeply angled, you can bounce any AP shell in the game. All right, captains, here we go. We're by ourselves. We're on the map Riposte. Now, right off the bat, I've got to be honest. I screwed up big time in recording this video. I had no idea that my audio was muted. And although this is a phenomenal game, unfortunately, I have lost all the audio in the main game. So I've decided to put a little bit of background music to kind of fill in that space. I do apologize, and under normal circumstances, I would have just scrubbed this video and tried to get another one, but this game was just too darn good for me to just throw it in the trash. So even though I screwed up, and I will gladly give all of the money back for, that you paid to watch this video. I know, I'm sorry, but trust me when I tell you, it is worth sticking around to watch this. I know you guys know what everything sounds like anyway. And let's be honest, you guys are here to hear my pretty voice anyway. So, all that being said, let's get on to the gameplay itself. I just had to get that out of the way. We are, again, on Riposte in a domination game mode. There's only one destroyer per side, and we spawn on Alpha. So, that's where we're going. And the good thing about this is that we can utilize this island that slightly juts right into Alpha, not only to conceal us from anything that's off the right-hand side, but also give us basically good firing angles to anything that could potentially come around the island that's way out there that also juts into A for the red team. Here immediately, I see a Weimar and a Plymouth. And I got to be honest, I was chomping at the bit to go around this island and just start raining down fire on those ships. But I need to play smart as we spot the Georgia W, who is making their way into Alpha. And there's also a Kronstadt out there. I'm not sure who's spotting it. I believe it could be the destroyer. And because of that, we get radared by the Kronstadt. And I make a mistake in leaking my nose out just a little too far. And because of that, he is going to hit us and reset the cap, which is a little annoying and a bit of a misplay on my part. Again, the same concept with the Riga also applies with the Petro. You want to be patient. You want to position yourself appropriately. And you want to take the right angles, and you have to time your moves and your shots. Now, the reason why I'm pushing out here before we actually have the cap is because I noticed that if you look on the minimap in the upper left-hand corner, the Georgia W has decided to leak into Alpha. So we're at a stalemate, and I can't grab the cap with him being there. I also have no shots on him. Conversely, he has no shots on me. And because the Kronstadt has decided to make the play for this island, which he subsequently gets wrecked, thankfully, and now that he's gone, the only other two ships, the Mogami and the Georgia that spawned over here on this flank, are blocked by the island. I'm not even spotted right now. Here I was going to line up my shot to be able to take out the Mogami, but right as I'm looking over the island, I see that he's turning back out to disengage. The Georgia is happy to just sit in the cap. And so because they're making that play, I need to start looking for broadsides on the other side of the map. Because I have really good shell velocity, great AP shells, even at this distance, long-range shots are not going to be a problem so long as I'm not being focused by those ships off my left-hand side. We make pretty quick work of those first 2 ships on the Reds. But trust me when I tell you, we are going to have a fight for our lives in this match. The Bismarck has decided to just kind of park it. And there's also a Jean Bart that's coming up mid on Bravo. But these shots on this Bismarck, as we just chunk the snot out of them, even from really far range, we're able to do some devastating hits against him. And that's got to be kind of a theme as we get our first stack of our epic reload booster. The Jean Bart's starting to come around the corner. We briefly get spotted, and then we just go dark. Now, this entire time that I'm doing this, I'm not staying tunnel visioned on these ships that are broadside to me. I am constantly jogging my eyes up to the mini-map to see if that Georgia starts pushing. I need to be aware of that because I've got to get my guns on target against him. I mean, his 18-inch shells can definitely put a hurting on me if I'm not angled correctly. As we get a Citadel against a Jean Bart, you can Citadel battleships in the Petropavlovsk. It's a thing. And the reload is a little bit faster than the Riga, which is why this can just be a devastating menace to go up against if you're going up against somebody who knows how to captain this ship really, really well. Again, thankfully, our team takes out the Jean Bart, but as you can see, the ship count has evened up. And even though, from my binoculars, it looks like everything's going well, the rest of the game is not exactly... it's not working out all that great. And you're going to start seeing our team start to go down in rather quick succession. Now, we know where the Mogami is, we know where the Bismarck is, and we know where the Georgia is. And now I'm starting to try and get myself up to this island on their side, still staying in the cap because we're going to have to end up pushing around this corner. But then I see the Georgia starts to make a play, which, if I'm being honest, if I'm going to be critical of this player, I believe this is a move that was done just a little too late. I was happy to sit in the middle of the cap, pretty much not having to worry about him because he put himself in that position and he didn't push the issue. Now, I get it. He doesn't want to put himself in a bad crossfire, and he wants to take the cap. But I've never left it. He's never left it. And now we get to see just how good these rear firing angles are with the Petropavlovsk as we unfortunately lose a ship right there. Now we're down a ship. But look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We have a flat broadside Georgia, which ironically, we don't get any citadels there. But we are going to be doing some nasty shots against this guy. Unfortunately, our Alabama gets taken out as, look at that hit. Now, I will be honest, he also got hit with a torpedo at the exact same time that we did that, so it wasn't all just my damage. But he finally focuses us, but it's too late as he goes down, and now it's a 4v5. We have 2 caps to their 1, but there's a lot of game left, and we still have a lot of work to do in order to start feeling comfortable. And it's about this time that I kind of realized that this is an opportunity to carry the game and to really show off the Petro late game. The Mogami is flat broadside, and I'll be honest, if the RNG was a little bit better, I think that would have been deletion, but the Mogami gets away with one. He starts to turn out, realizing I can't stay flat broadside to this guy, but it doesn't matter. We're still chunking him. The only hope he has at this point is to try and disengage and get torpedoes off on me. But even at this angle, look at this angle, I'm still able to Citadel him and take him off the board. But At the same time when that happened, we also lost another ship, bringing it to a 3v4, and now Bravo Cap is starting to get flipped. So now we have to make a play for Bravo in hopes that we can spot whatever is in there. But we have the radar at our disposal. It's just a matter of can we take this ship off the board, which more than likely at this point is the destroyer. And this late in the game, the fact that both destroyer players are still alive is actually a really good testament to just how well both of these destroyer players played. But at the end of the day, I'm glad I had mine, because he's going to come in clutch. He came in clutch the whole game, and it'll be reflective of that on the score at the very end of the game. But we are having to claw ourselves back as we are taking shots, and that's our destroyer player that's also taking shots at this Z46. And we get one more salvo into him as he's trying to turn in, and this is going to be the coup de grace, and he is down. But in doing that, we also lost our last battleship. So it's been a tennis match, a ping pong match, whatever you want to call it, back and forth, back and forth. Now that all that's left is the Plymouth, the Weimar, which are in a division together, and you have the Bismarck earlier that we were hitting pretty good. And all we have is myself and this Yugamo. And we're going to lock hands, so to speak, and really work together in order to make this possible. Now, this next set of events captains, in my opinion, is what makes this game have such a high replay value. You don't get games like this that often, but when they hit, it feels so good. So strap in, captains. This is going to be a fun end to the game. It's 3v2. Two of those ships, like I said, are in a division, and then you have the Bismarck. And an argument, I guess, could be made as we just get a hit in our high caliber. An argument could be made that they don't have to make this push. All they have to do is essentially run away because they've got the lead. But there's a lot of time left and we have the caps. So I can't really do the math off the top of my head as we citadel the Plymouth and we get our Confederate. Now we've got to play for the win. They are coming into the cap. They've got to kill us. And I'm the only one that they can see. Our Yugamo decided to smoke up. So for these next couple minutes, all three of these ships are going to start shooting at me because I'm really the only thing that they can see. And this is where you can kind of see the strength of the armor. This is why it's important when you get in situations like this. If you can help it, don't panic. You don't need to go broadside to start getting your extra turret in to try and get more damage. You've got to think more to survive in this scenario rather than be stupid. But here are our Yugamo, because they're distracted and tunnel visioned on me, he's able to get torpedoes off and take out the Bismarck. And then almost simultaneously, he goes broadside to the Yugamo, and the Yugamo takes him down, changing it from a 3v2 deficit to a 2v1 advantage us. But the ship that is left alive is the Weimar. And here I'm telling the Yugamo, just run. Just go. You've done your job. You've taken out two of those ships. And now it's just me and the Weimar. I'm hoping that he won't burn me down. And we can get the points lead up enough. Because it's less than 100 points right now. And if the Weimar were to kill me with just under 3 minutes to go and then take the cap, it's a possibility that we would lose. And I'm recognizing that, but because of the position that I'm in, I'm not very maneuverable. I have no choice. I'm just going to start backing up. Now, we've maxed out our stacks with our reload. So we've got the best reload that we can. But even with our best reload scenario, we still are no match against the Weimar's reload. Now, the Weimar, to his credit, doesn't go broadside. He just uses his front two guns. But even just the front two guns is enough to out DPM us. I was using AP at some times, but this guy knows what he's doing. So hats off to him. At this point, I'm just hoping that I'm gonna last long enough so that I don't die But looking at the score, now we have just hit the 2-minute mark. We're getting defends out the yin-yang, and we are really close to approaching 200k damage. But I'm really low, and I thought at any moment I was going to be dead. But something weird happens, and his shots, because we're backing up, I'm guessing he just starts getting bad RNG, or his aim is off or something. He's also not getting the fires against us, and it's going to prolong our life just long enough to where I don't have to worry about potentially dying here. And the longer this goes and I'm still alive, the better it is for us, because we've delayed him so much in getting Bravo Cap that I think now we're going to win. And as you can see, those torpedoes are starting to come in from the Ugamo. The Weimar has been tunnel visioned on us. And just like what happened to the Bismarck and the Plymouth, the Weimar is going to succumb to the same demise, as he is still looking at us, and those torpedoes come in. And oh, what a glorious sight to see him dead, and we still stay alive to clutch the game and have a come-from-behind victory in one of the most epic games. Technically not 200k, but definitely 3,860 base. And our Ugamo captain, who, shouts out to him, almost hit 2,800. Very, very well done, sir. Thank you for your help and support. It's destroyer players like you that I wish I had every game. So hats off to you, captains. Salutes all around. Thank you also, captains, for tuning in. That was a great game. I was thankful for bringing it to you, even though there was a lack of audio. Tell me if you liked the background music instead. I don't like making these kinds of mistakes, but I figured you'd like the gameplay. Next, we're going to be taking a look at the Stalingrad. But before we get to the Stalingrad, I have a blind fire clip that I want to show you that is the best blind fire sequence I have ever done in the 4 years playing this game. And I did it in the Petro. So stick around for a little bonus clip to end it. Thank you again, captains, for all your support. I look forward to bringing you the next video. And until next time, this is the USS Endeavor, signing off.
Вражеский крейсер уничтожен.